Alright, this video is going to lose me a lot of subscribers on both sides because I'm going to be talking to you about the coronavirus pandemic and the new variant. And if you have any strong opinions on this politically or scientifically, do me a favor and push that shit to the side. This is only going to be a discussion about how this stuff is going to be affecting the markets. Do not get your ego involved here. This is really going to hurt you and you're going to miss the point, because what I want to talk to you about is this new coronavirus variant, whether you believe in it or not the point, because I think that this is potentially going to have quite a serious effect on the market. It already has. We've seen a big drop down on the UK 100 right here, the FTSE 100. We've seen a fairly sizable drop on Bitcoin right now. You guys already know about that. I'm in a beautiful 20% profit on my short position. Shout out to the VIPs that knew all about this trade before I entered it. I literally shared the details of it, I think, like a day or two ago. So I was really very well prepared for this, very far in advance compared to how quickly the move happened. And I want to talk to you about how this could keep on moving forward, because I think the reason we're seeing a lot of weakness in the markets today, like I said, on the FTSE 100, we're probably going to see it reflected on the S&P 500. Let's take a look at Germany's DAX as well. I'm curious to see. There you go. I mean, this shit is gapping down. I mean, people are feeling massive fear right now, and this isn't a small drop right here, right? If we look at this from roughly the middle of this month to today, Germany's DAX, its index of I don't know how many companies, has dropped down by 5% in about 10 days, which is absolutely huge. And I think that a lot of this gap is definitely happening right now because people are shitting themselves over the new variant. So let me break this down for you if you haven't already heard the news. This is all about coronavirus having a brand new variant that's come out in the southern African countries. And it's being taken very seriously, right? The whole idea here is, according to these narratives, that it's not going to be effective against the vaccines, and that's essentially putting us back to square one in terms of fear of the pandemic, where, for a while, I think a lot of people, broadly speaking, have been a lot less worried about what's going on with COVID, but that's only because a lot of people are finding hope in the vaccine, and that's not really going to help you if there's a brand new variant here, which, there's 50 mutations overall and more than 30 on the spike protein. I'm not going to get into the specifics, but the whole point here is that people are worried that the world might be coming back down to a screeching halt because of this new pandemic, because of this new COVID variant, essentially meaning that we have to force ourselves back into lockdown. And we've already got the early warning signs of this, right? Like Austria entering a lockdown and so on. Again, look, I don't want to make this a political video. I know that we all have extreme opinions on this, and you better believe that I have extreme opinions on this as well, but this is not the place. You don't want to hear my opinions, and I definitely don't want to hear yours either. I'm only talking about how this is going to affect the market. And really, I think if a lot of people are worried about this new variant potentially becoming harmful, regardless of what your opinions are, that's going to affect the markets, and it already has, right? So we're seeing a little bit of a drop right here. Wow, look at this. Bitcoin continuing to sweep lows right here. Look at this on the 1 minute time frame. Just it had a really nice bottom out right here, formed a descending triangle, dropped back down again. We're seeing weakness in these markets right now, and I think a big part of that is down to the fact that this new variant has just started to hit headlines now. Now, is there any coincidence that we're getting another potential coronavirus market crash right as Bitcoin is at resistance? Hell no. I believe that the media is definitely playing a part in a lot of manipulations, which could definitely affect the markets as well. And the fact that Bitcoin drops at resistance right here, regardless of what the news is, to me makes perfect sense. It really is something that makes a lot of sense, because Bitcoin is trading at resistance here, and you guys who've been watching these previous videos, you're going to know all about that. If you find these videos useful, unplugged from the bullshit, and generally allowing you to keep yourself grounded and level with the market, do me a favor, smash up the likes and subscribe to this YouTube channel, and also let me know in the comments what you think about me covering real world news like this. One of the things that I found interesting is that the dollar right here is also moving down while everything else is moving down, and usually that's not something you see. The dollar has actually, it's really strange, the dollar has been rallying really hard, and this is one of the things I was warning you guys about as the dollar was around over here, telling you that if it clears this resistance with this green box, it's probably going to start shooting up. And it's not moved up by a lot in terms of percent, but relative to how the dollar tends to move on this index, this is bloody huge. The dollar managed to gain another 2% of value in this index, which is absolutely enormous. And I think there's still a lot more headroom for this dollar to move up, as long as obviously, things don't get very scary in the real world in terms of news, right? And so here's the deal is, I think that if we're going to be looking at a round two of, or around 4 or around 10 of this pandemic potentially creating scares, this can definitely drive markets down purely because people are going to be feeling fearful. You know, what I want to really draw to your attention right now is that people are in a place right now where they can be feeling very fearful, especially with Bitcoin, for example. Overall, for example, we look at the fear and greed index, we've been towards the fear or neutral side in this market in terms of sentiment. And the other thing that I want to draw to your attention right now is that the S&P 500, for example, one of many examples, has been rallying up really strongly over these last weeks and even years. I mean, this is a huge ascension. It has pretty much gone parabolic, and to potentially see something huge like another coronavirus market crash right now to reset the market a little bit, that would make a lot of sense to me, because I think that a lot of these markets are overextended. I think we saw this if we looked at things like Shiba, where people were only buying these complete disgusting shit coins because they were expecting a speculative rise in the market, and obviously that doesn't go forever, and then the markets fall completely flat because you had a lot of people buying hot air and then selling the hot air, and that's why I think we could be looking at similar things happening with these global indices, because we all know that while the stock markets and so on have been performing absolutely amazingly, real world economies haven't, right? The average people, generally, if you're seeing a stock market rally this hard like the S&P 500 has been, that should be an indication that quality of life for people in the United States is also getting better, but it's not. It's generally getting worse all over the world. And that's a sign of, just these things being out of balance. They're being irrationally exuberant right now. My point is not necessarily that this new strain can be, the final needle in the haystack or whatever that drops this, that kills the camel. You know what I mean? The final straw on the camel's back. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that we're close to finding that straw, I think. We are potentially close to finding that straw. That would obviously probably be a good thing for Bitcoin long term, but it would be terrible for Bitcoin short term. The reason it would be bad for Bitcoin short term is everyone's going to shit themselves and sell every asset and potentially move into safe havens like gold. I would imagine. Look at gold rallying up in the face of all of this fear right here. Typical price action. This is the typical response that we see to things going bad in the real world, is that every major asset and index gets dumped. The dollar itself and other major world currencies get dumped, but gold rises up because gold is seen as still that safe haven. This is actually proof that Bitcoin isn't there yet, right? If Bitcoin was seen as a safe haven, it would be rising up, but it's not being seen as a safe haven, at least by the wealthy. It's being seen as a speculative investment instrument. And so as long as people are still seeing it as just a way to make money and nothing more, it's going to keep getting big crashes when we start feeling a little bit more fearful in these markets. And so I think that's very important. And just moving back to the new coronavirus news right here, obviously, you see, the thing is if we're heading back into a new lockdown, the whole concern is that people aren't going to be working and they aren't going to be producing value for the economy and so on. And so there's just going to be less money floating around, which is obviously terrible for the world. And that's what makes people scared about this new, strain, this new variant right here. And then for Bitcoin, again, because I think a lot of people are still seeing Bitcoin as that kind of speculative investment, I think that's a big reason for why we're seeing a big drop right here. We're seeing it with Ethereum as well, where, for example, if you took a look at the UK 100, the FTSE 100 index right here, if we look at the big drop that the UK 100 saw since this news basically broke and became big mainstream news just in the past day, it's only dropped by about 3.6% from high to low. But Bitcoin, on the other hand, within the same time frame, has actually managed to drop by about 9%. So we're starting to see how, when these real world markets and indices are being hit, Bitcoin is getting hit even harder. And I think that could definitely be very disastrous for Bitcoin. But I'm not sure how long this is going to last, because, it's hard to say. A lot of people have thrown common sense out of the fucking window with this pandemic. And so, realistically, I'd like to think that a couple of lockdowns would be enough to solve the problem, and people shouldn't be too worried about the variant. You just kind of shut down flights from the problem countries and stuff like that. and that would generally kind of ease the problem. That's what I would like to think, and hopefully world leaders as well, so that we can keep the world open and running smoothly. But of course, if this wants to become a bigger scare, by the media and so on, the government institutions that kind of get more power through the pandemic because people are scared, well then we could be looking at things staying bad in these markets, and that can lead to Bitcoin potentially breaking some really strong support levels. And this is one of those rare circumstances where I'm seeing the fundamentals of the world potentially having a real impact on Bitcoin. Usually when something big happens in the real world, I don't care about how that might affect Bitcoin, because realistically I don't think it would affect Bitcoin. But the last time we had something this serious come up in this market, I just want to draw your attention back to when that was on the logarithmic scale. The last time we had a coronavirus market crash for real was right here. So we can definitely expect that. I mean, if we got something like that again, this is the only thing that's ever shook Bitcoin in the from the real world. And it not only did it shake Bitcoin a little bit, it completely fucking destroyed the market, made it drop by like half. If we're looking at something like that again right now, I don't need to tell you how potentially disastrous that could be for these markets, right? And I think that all depends on how the global economy kind of responds to this new strain in terms of fear. It could just be as simple as a new vaccine comes out and then the whole problem is solved, right? Again, I'm not going to be commenting on that stuff because it's getting way too political, and I know that I've already angered a lot of people with this video. But of course, the whole point here being discussing how this might affect Bitcoin and the wider financial markets. And broadly speaking, I mean, if this thing just stopped right here, I'm seeing Bitcoin being in a potentially perfect correction right now. I mean, really, it looks so healthy with this move up, a nice pullback, move up, a nice pullback, and then move up. To me, it just makes so much sense that the dump potentially stops around here, maybe a couple $1,000s lower, down to 52, 53,000, maybe even 51 at worst. And then it's over. To me, that would make so much sense in this market right now. But we're kind of having a spanner thrown into the works right here because of this new variant, where there is a real sense of unpredictability right now, where even me, the person who never ever pays attention to news, I have to take this seriously, because if everyone else is getting really scared of this, this will have an impact, on how speculative and optimistic the investors in these spaces want to be in the global economy, how optimistic people are. Because the thing we really need to understand, which I've been advocating for a long time as a key idea for Bitcoin, is that Bitcoin is only going to be rising if the rest of the markets in the world look healthy. And the reason for that is, at the moment, Bitcoin is so big that it can only really get serious pumps to the upside if you have the more old-fashioned, old money, white-collar investors investing in Bitcoin, right? If you have normal people like you and I trading out of our homes and things like that, we don't have enough money to push the market higher to, say, $100,000 and so on anymore. But it's those bigger, more mainstream investors that have got that generational wealth, the real big money in the world. It's those people that need to be putting their money into Bitcoin so we can see big rises in these markets. And we're not going to get that if those people right now are feeling scared of the pandemic, for example, because they are feeling pessimistic about, economies staying closed and things like that because of the uncertainty. We're not going to get people wanting to take speculative investments. And that's the key thing. The only saving grace Bitcoin has then, right, if it's not seen as a speculative investment, is if it's seen as a safe haven against the rest of the world collapsing, right? Let's say the world goes into massive chaos and Bitcoin turns out to be the savior, the new digital gold, the new form of currency. Well, that's not happened yet either, and I'm definitely not optimistic about that happening, because I don't bank my whole finances on long pipe dreams that are very far away. And right now it's very clear that gold is being seen as that safe haven and Bitcoin isn't, because gold is up by 1%, which is fairly substantial for gold, and Bitcoin's down by 8%, which is fairly substantial for Bitcoin. I wasn't even showing the chart. I was just demonstrating to you how gold is up a little bit, Bitcoin is down by a fair bit, so really, I think showing us right here that, the market is speaking, the money is talking, and whether you like it or not, we need that more conventional white collar, investment fund type of cash to be moving into Bitcoin in order for Bitcoin to rise. And we're just not there yet. We're just not getting it. And so, I don't know how well that can fare for Bitcoin if things continue to look gloomy because of this brand new variant. So a very controversial video that I wanted to bring to you guys. I don't know if I'm going to keep on doing this. It's been a really long time since I've talked about real world events in the context of these financial markets. The last time I did this was probably literally last year, and I don't do this often because realistically this is not a this is not a politics channel. This is not something where I'm trying to tell you what I think, or again, like I said, where I want to hear what you guys think about politics as well. That's not the point. We all have extremely different opinions on this, but you know, what I do want to discuss is how it might impact the markets, because I know that's why you guys are here. So if you think it was good that I brought this up, please let me know in the comments. Or if you want me to not cover this kind of stuff again, let me know in the comments about that as well. If you want to join 4Fly's VIP, you can do that by clicking on the first link in the description down below, and then clicking on the @4Flies button at the bottom of any post inside of 4Flies Gold, and then clicking on send message to ask me how to join 4Flies VIP. We have a big sale right now of 68% off. Definitely take advantage of it while you can. This is a Black Friday sale. We've got something absolutely huge running here right now, and like I said, I am actually just now in a short position on Bitcoin, which is profitable, so I'm really very much enjoying that. And if you want to get in on that action, then of course you know what to do. Let me just show you another little thing right here. Bear with me while I pull this up. What I want to show you here is the most recent post that we've just made inside of 4Flies Gold. Bam, take a look at this. How do I show this to you? There we go. We've got some absolutely stunning testimonials and pictures from members who've made their profits in these markets. 121% going long on Bitcoin with a ridiculous leverage number, but still impressive nonetheless. 109% from this person trading Ethereum on the long side, 52% trading Bitcoin on the downside. We're making money when the market goes up, and we're making money when the market goes down. You guys already know the deal. And a stunning 250% profit on Ethereum right here. This person mentioning that they lost so much money at the beginning of their trading career, but like they said, you know, because like I said, 90% of people will lose 90% of the money in the first 90 days that they trade. But this person is back thanks to VIP. They studied a lot of our content, and it helped them improve their skills, which is absolutely amazing. That person right there from Germany. So if you want to be able to take advantage of what we've got going on with our Black Friday discounts, pardon me, then click on the first link in the description down below for the 4Flies Gold Telegram channel. That's my completely free channel where I'm giving you more analysis completely free of charge. You don't have to do anything. Just click on that link, and then click on the @4Flies button at the bottom of any post inside of that Telegram channel, and then send message. These 3 quick clicks will take you to ask me how to join VIP. And as soon as you send me that message, we've got like 3 or 4 people on my account right now, because we've had huge load for the Black Friday sale. 68% off, the biggest discount we've ever done. If you want to get in, we'll send you that information within like 5 or 10 minutes, so very quickly. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Let me know again what you think in the comments, and if you found this video useful, do me a favor, smash up the like, subscribe, hit the bell, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.